Okay, and perfect. And we are live. And
Ooh,
we are with our beautiful sister, Asia. And I'm so excited to be here with you because we together, Marla, you and myself, just wow, just pure love and energy that always takes place, whether we're together in our office or we're on this Zoom call. And
Yeah.
that's that light and love that we bring together that we're so grateful to share with the world. And Asia, I don't even know where to begin because you wear so many beautiful hats. You're the founder of the managing director of the Athletic Business Council. You are I don't know how many hats you wear, but you're going to have to share this incredible journey because I'm excited to share it with everyone. But you have the biggest heart. You share so much love and kindness to everyone that comes into your lives. And I know those people that enter your life are better for that. And we're truly honored to call you not only a sister, an ambassador for the Tree of Life movement. And what we've witnessed on your journey since the first day we met has been divine. It has been miraculous. And again, yes, we have these obstacles and challenges and tests and smacks in the face and we get knocked down. But as you know, and we experience, it brings us to the next place in our lives because it made us who we are, and it's a gift. And so Asia, this is the world. World, this is Asia.
Hi, world. And especially hello to all of our brothers and sisters in the Tree of Life movement, and all of those who are going to be blessed by stories that we share, and just the energy and the love that radiates from these two amazing people who were gifted from the divine, from the source, from God, this movement. And thank you both for heeding that call and bringing it as far as we are so far and further where we're still going. I truly am very, very appreciative. It's been such a wonderful journey with the two of you and the rest of our family.
Yes.
Beautifully said.
Oh my goodness. And
I'm excited.
Already every hair on my body's standing up because you just resonate with Marla and I. And we are witnessing that with all the beautiful, as you just said, our family is growing around the world. And I know you get to sit back and witness this as well. And that is the gift of social media for the beautiful reasons to share to share that light and love or that wisdom that we've been given with someone else, because we never know what someone else is going through. And just that act of kindness, that just letting someone else know that they're loved, they matter, the things we talk about every day, the things that we witness that you do, because you are so humble and you do so much. You give all of yourself to everyone. And I just want people to really see you for who you are, because that's who you are. And we forget because sometimes we are so tough on ourselves, right? And
like, I was super nervous to get on here because I don't like to be in the spotlight. Like, even working in the film industry, I always stay in the background. I help with the production, I help with casting, I help with, reading through the scripts, all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes I'll go on screen, but very rarely.
so share your journey, share who you are and what you do, and just, as you know, when Marla and I and you get together, it's usually for like 9 hours. But
right, how much time do we have?
So this is really about you sharing your heart, and as we talked about just prior, our authentic selves. And we're going to touch on that because I just love what you shared prior, but that's for you to share.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So as you said, I actually don't look good in hats, but as you said, I wear a lot of hats.
Yes.
And that I truly believe at my core that that's because of the specific purpose that I was born into. I have always felt since I was very, very young that I was supposed to have some significant impact in a positive way for the world. I've always been, we see a lot going on right now with tension between people for different reasons. And I've always been, um, I've never understood. I mean, I intellectually understand that, but my heart doesn't understand it because I've always loved everyone. I essentially have, am in my mind, and this was sort of recent that I came up with that piece was when I was really ill, a little over a year ago. Um, that basically I'm like a love light entity, being, and my purpose here is to spread love and perpetuate love and bring people together to realize the oneness of humanity. And um, authenticity, as you said, plays a big part in that. Oftentimes we're not authentic with ourselves, and therefore there's no way we can be authentic with anyone else. It interrupts our relationships.
Yes.
And we can't find that fulfillment that we're looking for. So I've always worked towards not just meeting the physical needs, paying the bills and getting the kids what they want or whatever, but seeing how I can, as Marla said earlier, which both of you were sharing the same sentiment, how I can at least bless one life every single day. If I have a day where I don't feel like I um, have hit that goal, then I do beat myself up. I feel bad about it because I want to be able to share something in my story, whether it's one of the horrible things that I've been through, which so many people have, and I can share some of those at in another time. But a lot of what you hear about what young women go through, very young children go through, something happens to them that should never happen to a child, that affects us. And even at that point, in that very young age, we start hiding who we are because we're afraid to have something happen again. And that was huge in my life. I am obese. I'm large, and I need to still lose weight. But because of what happened when I was younger, and then other instances, things that have happened, events in my life, I subconsciously feel that if I keep that weight on, I'm protected. I'm safe. No one's gonna come at me because and if anyone gets a chance to look at my background on my Facebook page, I feel like an ugly lump of coal, and I feel safe that way. But at the same time, I know that I was created for so much more than that. My heart has been reaching out across the world for so many years to reach other people and make an impact in their lives. So I had to start working on myself to become what the artist, the original artist, the creator, God wants me to be. And part of my journey with Tree of Life movement and the intention stick is that it's helping me, give me strength for one thing, and set my intention and keep my focus on bringing down those walls, and not just for myself but for others, share my experiences with them, share some of my own self-help that I've done to get through some of those traumatic issues, so that both of us, both parties, and when I'm talking to you, I for a moment even kind of forget we're on that we're live. I don't know if anybody's watching. I'm not even looking at that. But when I'm talking to someone, they're my focus. That's who I believe we're supposed to have that interaction and bless each other.
Yes.
So that's where my goal is. And if I can help them be a little bit more authentic with themselves, maybe identify something in their life that's been um, keeping them from their true destiny, or living out their passion, aligning their passion, their purpose, and their profession, since majority of what I do is business consulting with startups. That's where I want to be. That's where I'm in my happy place, right? I love being able to share the intention stick with people, because those who know me, they've seen changes since we met, right? And I can share a little bit about how that happened, and even just within the next 24 hours, some of the major changes that occurred. But it really has been an amazing journey as to where I was and where I am now and where I know it's going. So for that, I absolutely thank both of you, because and Natasha, of course, my friend Natasha Moyes, I adore her. She's the one that introduced us, um, and she's an amazing person as well. You know, you guys, her, other people that she, facilitated my introductions to. But I know together, and as we share this globally, more people will be drawn to, more people are waking up anyway from this COVID issue. They're waking up and saying, you know what, we have to treat each other better. We have to treat ourselves better to start, but we have to treat each other better and really work together to make our entire world, not just one city, not just one village, but our entire world a better place for all of us and for the future. And that's been playing out since the day that we met. I'm sure it's been bits and pieces leading up to that, because there's a reason that I was, brought into your office that day. And do you guys actually have like I mean, I know we're all wearing our intention sticks, but do you have one to kind of show and tell a little bit to maybe any of those who are watching who don't know what it is?
Scott's gonna
Thank
grab
you.
one so he has it handy. And I just want to say that as I'm watching you speak, first of all, there is a beautiful image behind you of a panda bear, and the panda is staring at you, almost embracing you. And like I see the panda is just like lifting you up, and I want to tell you how beautiful we think you are.
No,
we know
you
that
are.
you had, like Scott started by telling you this, because the ego gets in the way. That really, when you just turn around, it looked like you were kissing each other. It was just
I know, I do that all the time. I'm like,
yes. And
I love my pandas.
and you're exactly right. Well, first I just want to respond quickly to a couple of the points you were making, which are so incredibly powerful, because so many people are going through the exact same things that you talked about. Because by design, humans were made to struggle. And through the struggles, we're supposed to learn. It's the opportunity for our soul to advance to higher places while we're here on earth. What happens is that we're taught to think differently, right? Because through the struggles, even as we're, like you mentioned, being a child, we're taught to think bad things about ourselves, because when an adult or even another child or a peer says to you, oh, you're stupid, or you're dumb, or you're ugly, well, we start internalizing those things, because, well, we must be those things. They're saying that to us. So we start internalizing the negative thoughts, and we push them down, all the way down into our stomach, where they sit for years and years. And then what happens is that we put, like you said, with the subconscious, we hide them. And then when we hide behind the mask, we start up being our authentic self, because the ego gets in the way. And then we continue to carry that fear along with us on our journey, because we're afraid of what the next person might think about us. And so through our experience, intention is so incredibly important, the key to living, because intention is our reality. It's our soul's reality to raise it to a higher level, right? Yeah. It's to make us understand why we're here. That yes, there are struggles and obstacles and pain and sickness and all those things that a lot of us have in our lives, because that's our story. but it's not who we are, it's what we do with it. And
Absolutely.
and then the other piece, which I love about all of us working together, because one of the things we like to ask our children at the end of the night is, what did you do for humanity today?
Oh my
Because,
God, I love that.
you know, and Scott and I do believe, we, like you, why we're here, our existence. But sometimes, like you said, it's just one person. If we can touch one person, and it doesn't have to be anything huge, in the sense of a smile doesn't take very much
Right.
from us, right? Just to smile at someone, to acknowledge their presence, or to wave to them when you're passing by.
Yes.
Because then you can see the smile that back from them, and right there you can feel it in your soul. So I just wanted to touch on some of the points you were making. And so Scott brought over.
And I do, but I would love to add to that, because that was so beautiful. And Asia, you already know how Marla and I feel about you. I mean, that is unconditional love. And one, I want to say, because Marla and I do know your story, and I know we've said this again, but I want to say, I'm sorry that that I wish I was there.
Don't make me start crying, Scott.
That's okay, but I wish I was there for you, to be that big brother when you were a little girl, to be by your side, to just hug you, to say we love you. And you know, this is so important for the world to witness right now, that because so many men and women may feel that they are that lump of coal, or that they're not loved, or they're not pretty or handsome or smart enough, or whatever they want to, or have been just put in their heads because of that. And if we could all go back to that little boy or that little girl, to say, I got you. And I love you, and you matter, and you are going to shine brightly no matter what happens to us. And just love that little girl, that little boy. And as right now, is, again, it's not the normal conversations we have, but spiritually, we can go back to that little girl, that little boy, and say, I love you, and you are beautiful, and you are a diamond. You are a diamond, inside and out. And if someone doesn't see the authentic Asia, then they're not seeing that light and love that is just surrounding you, and that is inside of you. And that's your authentic self. And this is so important, that everyone realizes the beauty they have within them.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, what was it? Was it the statue of David?
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci was asked, how did you carve David?
This beautiful sculpture.
Right. It was that one piece, wasn't it?
Yeah, out of one solid piece, which is huge.
How were you able to create this beautiful sculpture?
And Da Vinci said, he was always in there. I just chipped away at all of the beautiful pieces to reveal, right? And this is what we have to do, because that David is inside us all. That beautiful masterpiece is who we all are. We just have to chip away at all of the things that were pushed over or thrown over or programmed into our heads since childhood. And you are that diamond in the rough. You're not the rough. You've already, every facet is shining bright in you. I don't even have to go on. But that's who you are.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to share that with you, and that message for someone else maybe thinking how they may feel. And as you know, and Marla and I say, if you are feeling that way, or you are feeling alone, or you're by yourself, message us. Call. I know you share the same
me too.
We're always there for one another, and that's 24/7. It's not, well, sorry, call me from 9 to 5. No, if something's going on and someone needs to reach out to any of us, that's what we're here for. And yes, so Asia Squirrel, you know me with the ADOS, attention deficit. Oh, squirrel. I wanted to also, yes, so for someone that may not know about the intention stick, this is what Marla and I received to share with the world. The vision I had 9 years ago of the tree of life, and then 4.5 years ago, the image of the tube, and then the tree being wrapped around the tube. And for someone that, yes, I love you are sharing this, Asia, and how you brought this up, that someone may be seeing this for the first time, what we continue to talk about is placing our intentions inside the tree of life intention stick, which, if we think about, is a mirror image of our own vessel. And we're here in this lifetime to repair our own vessel, to fill ourselves up with everything we need, right? Self-care, taking care of who we are first in order to continue to help others. And the 22, oh, that's funny. I happened to grab a copper one.
Gorgeous.
So this one, even though I know you have a stainless, but this one happens to
Oh,
be
beautiful.
copper, which is such a pure healing vessel. And I think you have a stainless or a silver one on.
I have a stainless, but
Okay,
I think I'm going to need to get the copper.
Okay, yes, dear. Yes, dear. Yes. Oh, and with your beautiful skin tone, it'll just.
I wear a lot of gold makeup, so I'm like,
Yes, I know. I love it. So for someone to just right now close their eyes and listen to these beautiful intentions, I'm going to read them. And these, as you know, we say to choose 3 intentions. It's what we need in our lives today, what we need to allow us to be the best version of who we are, right? And I know we've mentioned it's not being better than anyone else in this world. It's being better than who we were yesterday. We're here to do. That is the tree of life. That is the expansion of our souls. That is the evolution of consciousness. So I'll gratefully read these.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'll share the sort of the vision and the journey. Believe, faith, gratitude, mindful, be, let it be, love, light, blessed, peace, kindness, compassion, success, knowledge, trust, spiritual, happiness, courage, laugh and joy, inspire, consciousness, and the 2 most important, even though these are all important, health and oneness. And going back to after the vision of the tree of life, Marla had a beautiful, very powerful vision that this, coming from pure love and pure intention, would sweep the world like a beautiful tsunami, that everyone in the world would be wearing one in every language and in Braille, and that we would all insert the word oneness at the same time. Because as I know, we know, and a lot of those that are listening, we don't need to die or transition to go to heaven. It is all around us. It's everywhere we are. And it's also within us all. We have to see that. We cannot continue to say, I don't like this about you and you and you, or I'm blaming you and I'm blaming you for my life. Because that's really us looking in a mirror, reflecting back on the things we don't like about ourselves. Just as Da Vinci saw David within that stone, that light, that pure soul is within all of us. It's just covered up with the programming or the fear. And that's, we have to recognize that within all of us because it's there. And when we do start to realize we are love, we are kindness, we are gratitude, we are blessed, we are light, we are happiness. We are, because those are the I ams, right? You said from the very beginning of this conversation, whether someone says the creator, God, the universe, the source, the light, spirit, whatever that is to that person, we're all created in that image and we're all perfect, just who we are, our authentic self, right? Not the mask, the COVID mask, another mask on top of the other mask. And as we talked about prior,
Right.
This world doesn't know who someone is because we're wearing 100 masks. So it's not easy to speak our truth and be our authentic self, but we must, because if
Absolutely.
not, no one will ever know who you or me or Marla are if we are not authentic. And when we're authentic with ourselves, which again, we may not even know how because we've been so programmed like sheep in the herd for generations, but we must look for the answer inside and trust
Absolutely.
that. And if someone doesn't like who you are or Marla or I, that's okay. Remember what we taught our children, which I wish I would have known as a child, which is NMP, which stands for not my problem,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because if someone
Like,
doesn't
what
love
you think about me is none of my business.
yes,
I, I've
exactly.
I've incorporated that into my life this year
Mhm.
because I was too worried about what everyone else thought,
Yep.
and would basically, if I knew something was the right thing to do and I knew how to do it, but other people discouraged me, I would stop, because I'd say, okay, well, they're going to judge me, right? They're going to be upset with me. They're, it might hurt them. But what I've come to realize over the past year is that I have to stay true to myself. I have to follow the path that I know in my heart was laid out for me. And when I'm walking in alignment and doing what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, there may be some people who exit my life, but that's because we weren't meant to be connected in this, in this realm, you
Yes.
know. So
And
I'm okay with losing people now until they grow, learn their own lessons, and realize that even if we disagree. By the way, I recently had a roommate move in, a girlfriend of mine. I love her. She's phenomenal. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, beautiful heart. But it's so funny because we disagree on a number of things, and we will have these heated conversations. But as soon as we're done, we're just, okay, we're not agreeing on this. We love each other. We're still, um,
right.
she's like a sister to me. Because we're adults. We've both done the work to
Yeah.
grow up and say, okay, well, I'm not unfriending you. I'm not kicking you out of my life because we
That's
disagree on
great.
this topic, right?
Yes.
Um,
It's respect. It's listening.
Absolutely.
And it's not easy to listen, right? As we are right now, being in the now, being present, holding space for one
Yes.
another, to respect what you share with Marla and I, or what Marla and I share with you. And that's
But it's also about communication.
Yes.
Because when you
Yeah.
can be your authentic self,
Mhm.
then there's no need
Mm.
to get defensive or to argue or be right.
Mhm.
Right, that it's more about being mindful and knowing your inner
True.
self, your truth, to feel like, yes, I want to share my authentic thoughts or feelings about this, but I love me so much that I want to know what you think too, and I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's typically where we, like, it'll be certain things trigger, right? Because I still haven't completely conquered that reptilian mind, right? Or that programming. So
Yes.
certain things do trigger me, and I'm not perfect by any means. And
No,
so
nor
we'll
are
have
we.
these discussions, but we both know who each other are. Like,
Yeah.
she's one of the people that knows me best of everyone, and we know each other's hearts, and we know that we at some point we may say, you know what, actually now I do realize why you believe that, and maybe I was wrong, or I can see why in your perception, and the whole 6 or a 9, from where you're standing it's a 9, where I am it's a 6. We're not wrong, we're both correct, we just have a different perspective. So at least her and I understand each other that way. A lot of people, they still need to get there. I do my best, again, not perfect, but I do my best to understand the other person's point of view as well, even if I don't agree with it, at least to understand why they think that. And sometimes that does lead to, like it does in a debate, it sometimes does lead to that conversion, right? Um, and that all still, like you said, though, that all comes back to being authentic. Like sometimes I'll get triggered because I'm not willing to admit to myself that something that hurt me last year or 2 years ago or 10 years ago is still affecting me.
Yes.
Because I've done all this work, right? I've done so much work.
It's
I
layered.
should be fixed by now. But our whole life is a journey. So at least I'm accepting that now.
And you are
Go
so
ahead.
spot on, because it's layers. And,
Yes.
again, if we can, again, take that beautiful communication, right? Again, someone also being authentic. Again, it's not proving someone is right or wrong.
Right.
Because if that's what the intention is, then someone loses. And we are not here to win. We're here to coexist. We're here to be in harmony with one another. There's no reason for an argument, because again, if there's an argument, someone loses.
Unless you just decide, okay, here, this is where we're at.
Right.
We're even keel. Let's just
Yes.
end that conversation and move to something else.
You have, when someone isn't reacting, or
Yeah.
again, they were not triggered, and they're communicating. Think about not just in a conversation with your roommate, but think about around the world with leaders.
Yes.
Right? The
Absolutely.
peace that we would have in this world. Again, especially with what we're witnessing right now. And as we say, what's taking place is a gift, because people are sharing their truth. People are being their authentic selves. And sadly, we shouldn't be witnessing this in the first place. As we already know, there is no black, white, pink, yellow. There is no Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. Our souls are the same. We are all the same. No one in this world is better than anyone else. No one is better or worse. We are all the same. We have been programmed to believe, because of religion or politics or money or color or education, that I'm better. And sadly, that is the furthest from the truth. And when we can realize, and this is what we're doing, and recognize that we are all brothers and sisters, we are all here to coexist, we are all here to help and to serve one another, that's the heaven on earth that we are in, which we are. Again, we choose to see whatever is, again, perception, right?
Right.
So what
you had mentioned
what's that?
Global leaders. I wanted to touch on that just for a moment, because it ties into changes in my life since we've met. And since and you, Scott had mentioned, now actually, so I don't even know what I look like, because I keep looking at Scott and Marla, but Scott had mentioned that you actually put your intentions, I'll talk to the camera, you actually put your intentions in here.
Squirrel.
And I know. And when I first got my intention stick, I wanted to just mention what I put in there, and then some of what's manifested since then.
I would love
and we're not trying to say this is magic, but it's truly been a blessing. Has to do with oneness, with, and this is my personal belief, oneness with frequency, with intent, above all, intent, and with God, or whoever you can substitute that, whatever makes you comfortable. But what the intentions are there, most people have seen either something on, on Discovery Channel, or within their holy book, whatever their beliefs are, that if we have faith, then things can come into fruition. So for me, it's basically been that I put in 3 words of what my intentions were, and then I started focusing on those. And the 3 I chose, in no particular order, third runner-up, no, just kidding. The 3 I chose were love, success, and health. And part of that was because I met the love of my life. We got married. I was happy as could be for a time, and that marriage didn't work. And I'm the one filed for divorce, but I ended up divorcing him and not being able to let go of him. We've been divorced now for 6 years. I still, talking to most people, I still say my husband, my husband, my husband, but he's not, right? But my heart was really hurt from everything that happened in that relationship. And what I've been working on the most is the self-love part, because I was, yes, I love him. He's an amazing person, but I was also worried and didn't want to admit that no one else was going to love me. It was only him. He's the only one in the whole world who would ever love me. And that was because of my past and hiding a lot of that pain and not dealing with it. So I've been able to work on that a lot, and I'm doing a lot more for myself now that I wasn't doing before, and kind of getting open to maybe meeting someone. I actually didn't even take my wedding ring off until last November. So it was, and that was a friend basically had me on the phone. They're like, take it off right now, but that whole authenticity piece. And so I've had so many new loves come into my life in non-romantic way, but have now been able to receive that because I'm open to it. So that was super powerful for me. The other was health. I had multiple times where I was incredibly ill. There was a time when I was married that I had 2 months that I was basically, well, actually 2 months fairly recently, but when I was married, at least a year where my husband just had to take care of me because I was so ill. And I have still had health challenges, as Marla said. There are those ups and downs. It's not say, hey, wear this intention stick and your life will be, rainbows and unicorns for the rest of eternity. Because that's not what humanity is about. That's not what life is about. But my health has been improving. I have many, much, much, much more good days and months, good runs where there's no complications whatsoever. And I'm back on another. So when we got divorced, I was almost 300 pounds and I was incredibly unhealthy. Of course, I felt even more like maybe the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or the Michelin Man than that ugly lump of coal. I was horrible, horrible self-image. And I knew I had to do something about it. So it was actually Meadowlark Lemon and my brother, non-blood, Pee Wee Harrison, who sat me down one day, and they just both basically said, hey, if you're going to be, because I was doing some PR and stuff, and they said, if you're going to be doing that, you're going to have to get in front of the camera sometimes. I had refused to go on camera, like I was telling you earlier. And they said, so if you have a problem, we love you, but if you have a problem with getting on the camera and essentially doing your job, then you have to do something about it. So that started a health journey, and I was able to drop 100 pounds and kept that off for years, but I still had 60 to go. And I was doing good. And then COVID hit. So with the COVID, I wasn't diagnosed with COVID, but with just everything that's happening and being quarantined, I started putting on weight again. So of course that started affecting my self-image again. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to really just start focusing on my health. That's what my whole intention was in the first place. So I started another health journey with Quentin, and I work, he's helping keep me accountable. And
yeah, we don't want to piss off Quentin, by the way.
You what?
We don't want to piss off Quentin, by the way.
No.
Right.
Never.
He is a
I love that guy. He's one of my best friends.
An honor to call him our brother. He is,
yeah, he's so amazing. But so we're doing that and focusing on my health, and I'm getting back on track with that. So that's been, again, it comes down to the focus, to the intention.
Yes.
And then the last one was success. which actually has had probably the biggest shift and the biggest change. And again, that had started within 24 hours. And you know, we mentioned Quentin a couple times here. After 24 hours after is when Natasha introduced me to Quentin, and we got, you know, we clicked. And like I said, now he's one of my best friends. I adore him. And he's been, you know, he's a very big blessing in my life. So that was one thing that happened. The other two things that happened, and this was all within, some of it was 24 hours and the rest was 48 hours.
So,
I
so
do.
let me
Go ahead.
explain to someone. So what Asia is saying right now is that after receiving her intention stick within 24 hours and 48 hours, the
This
blessing,
is what happened.
miracles took place.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes we witness these, as we both or all three know, everything's a miracle.
Yeah.
But to witness, and we're witnessing them sometimes instantly in front of our eyes, from pain and sickness leaving someone's body to watching them shift consciousness, or to letting go of the things they've been carrying, the anger, the things they've been pushing down their whole lives and letting them go, to, as sometimes, yes, it could take hours or a day or even a week, months. Again, it could take however long it takes for someone to receive, or they're open to receive, that we must put in that work and believe and have that faith and that trust, because we set our intention to allow those things to happen for us, right? As you said, it's not
Absolutely.
abracadabra,
Right.
or unicorns and rainbows.
Exactly.
We have to believe what intention we set. We have to work and send that out. And so,
Yep.
so please continue. So
Oh,
yes,
no,
24 hours,
sure.
you met Quentin, and then 48 hours, what took place?
And then within 48 hours, there had been a company. I help companies and nonprofits find donors and funding and things like that. And there was one that I was working on for a while, and nothing had come into fruition yet, but it's a phenomenal company. And literally the next day, so this was so we met on, I don't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, but on Sunday.
Friday.
So it was actually Saturday when I got the phone call, and then it was Sunday that I met up with them. The founder of that particular organization called me to come meet up with him and his wife on Sunday for a brunch, or sorry, like a happy hour thing just over at Olive and Ivy, like right by your office. Um, and he had one of the investors that I'd been working with had invested into the company. And so I had a check coming in, and I was like, okay, I've been working on this particular one for so long, and seriously, like, I put my intentions there, focus on my intentions, and here's a check. And it was a nice size check, right? So I was really thrilled about that. The other thing is, as I mentioned before, ever since I was a child, I had this innate belief that I was put on this planet to help vast numbers of people. And there was a a show, I don't know if I think it was 90s, maybe, possibly the 80s, but I think it was in the 90s, called Touched by an Angel.
Yes.
And there was one particular episode that just hit me so hard and stuck with me until now. And it was an episode about I believe it was Vietnam nurse named Mayday. And in the episode, the main character, Roma Downey's character, loses her angelic gifts and is institutionalized. And so, of course, no one believes her because she can't perform any kind of miracles. She can't do anything. And I've just always felt like there's this this power and this gift, almost like a golden light that's inside of me that I am suppressing and don't know how to get it out. So that, like, I've forgotten how to use that gift, or what I'm supposed, my purpose, what I'm supposed to do with it. So that episode was always really important to me because, of course, they're triumphant at the end, and the angel powers return, right? So that's always been super, super impactful to me. So the next day also, after I got this, I met up with a filmmaker friend, and he just happened to mention that without knowing that story, because we were friends, but he didn't know that part of my, I wasn't being totally open with him yet, right? And um, he was headed to go meet her, and I was just like, oh my God, I was like, wait, seriously? I said, yes, that's the person, the actress, but that character has had such an impact on my life.
Mm.
This, Quentin's calling.
Hi,
You
Quentin.
want to say hello real fast, just
Yeah.
so I'm not ignoring him? Hey, bud. Hey, we're still on our thing, so say hello.
What's up, my brother?
Hey, Quentin.
Good to see you.
How are you? How you been?
Oh, Quentin, so blessed. And you already know you're with us every day, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're all
We're
connected.
We're still doing our live, so can I give you a call back in just a little bit? Or you want to show everyone your intention stick?
Yeah, show. That's amazing. Is he wearing it?
Oh, he just. Okay, so I'll call you back right after.
I love it.
Okay, thanks, bud. Bye.
So amazing. It's
So,
talk about manifesting what we think
yes.
we bring about. And for those who don't know Quentin, who we
I know. Quentin.
Quentin, for those who may have seen the movie he was in with Sandra Day Bullock and Quentin, he was
Big Mike in The Blind Side.
The most
and
beautiful light and inspiration.
He's an amazing person. And like I said, one of my best friends now. So I adore him. So I'm like, I'll let him say hi, because I know he wanted. I was telling him, if I was able to, I wanted to go meet up with him so that we could be together talking to you guys, but our schedules couldn't coordinate, and so we weren't able to do it.
You know what? He already joined us, so he was with us.
Yes, he did.
Which I love, and we'll catch up with him later.
Yeah. Well, you guys can follow up. So just to touch back on that success piece, other word that I had in there. So because of that sign, from my friend with a, Touched by an Angel link, then I really started to increase my faith in what my purpose was. So I started doing a lot more work on myself, finding the right mentors to work with to help get me to that next level and have that personal growth. And this is where it ties back into world leaders. One of my good friends here in the Valley, he works with an organization that helps establish initiatives even at the level of like one of the, and I don't want to give away anything that I can't. I mean, I don't know what I can and cannot say, but there's even an ambassador with the United Nations. And with that and everything that's going on with that, there are all these different plans that have been written on my heart since I was little, and how to help emerging economies, how to help places that have been devastated by the elements or by war or whatever. There's all these plans, and there's no way I can do all of those on my own, right? And I'm not supposed to. None of us are. We're all supposed to work together. So I've since focusing and focusing on that intention, I've been able to draw in some amazing people into my life who can help things like that happen, and help literally get these initiatives in front. Like literally the one gentleman can actually walk into multiple nations and sit down with the nation's leaders. And I know you guys have done that similar, something right along those lines too. But present these plans to them, and we have the connections to the funding to put the plans into motion. So again, even with just that, and being able to share the movement wherever we go, that will help perpetuate the Marla's vision of everyone being connected with the intention stick. So I have just had so many blessings since we met, and since I started really focusing my intention and letting down more of my walls and accepting who I truly am, not who I've been told I am, if that makes sense.
Every hair on my body is standing up. Can you see from what you just
I don't know if the camera's quite that good.
they are just, I'm just telling you, wow. And that's why we know you were brought into our lives from our beautiful sister Natasha, and the work that we're all doing together, because as you said earlier, as we speak every day, this is about us collectively. It's not about Marla and I or you and I. This is about all of us focusing on peace on earth and why we were given these gifts to share with the world, and we're doing it, and it is about now, and that's why these souls keep coming into our lives, because it is that light, it is that love, and this love will encompass the entire world. And I know you see this, I know it is who you are, and you are shining so bright. You are shining so bright, and we love you so much. And
Likewise.
I know you know that, and I know it's the same. And the journey, as you realize, is just beginning, and it already is miraculous. And
I'm so excited for what we can do. And it's, like I said, it's not, like you said, and I said earlier too, it's not me. I know I'm not the only one who was given this vision, or this vision, whatever you want to call it, who was given the vision in my heart, the plans, to make these different things happen. And some of them are just so out there that for years, again, people are telling me, you're crazy. Why are you even thinking that way?
Normal's boring, by the way.
Yeah, right. So it kind of put me in my place, which wasn't really my place. It's just where they wanted to place me, and kept me down. So now that I'm focused and know exactly what steps need to be taken to make these things happen that will benefit humanity, and starting, yes, with specific, like one is vulnerable populations, those aging out of foster care who literally at 18 just get kicked out. They're on the streets if they have nowhere to go. That's right. So we're working on a solution for that.
Wait till we share with you what's coming. That's what I said. Marla and I
see you're doing your thing you did when you were in England. You're like, I'm ready to talk. So that's basically what's going on with me. But I want to hear some of the things that I haven't been caught up with yet, because we haven't had a chance to hang out.
No, and you're coming over this week. I don't care how busy we all are, because it's about now. And I don't want this beautiful, divine, miraculous call to end, because it's not. This was our first of many that we're going to share with the world, because not only have you inspired Marla and I, you've inspired anyone that witnessed this beautiful and divine call that just took place, to let them know they are loved, and they do matter, and they have purpose, and they are just as important as anyone else in this world, which they are.
Yes, you absolutely are.
And that was the validation of this call today, in a time that was so needed for so many to hear, because everyone is going through something. And they need to now know they are surrounded by love, and our family, our spiritual family, is just growing around the world every second of the day. And it's because of beautiful loves like you that we get to experience this, and that others will experience what's coming. So we don't want to sign off, but you already know our sign off. And one, we love you, we love you, we love you. We honor you, we honor you, honor you. And as always, we're sending you and your beautiful family blessings and intentions of gratitude, light, and love.
Thank you.
And we are going to see you this week. And you know
okay, let's get together this week. For
sure.
I
know. We will need a sleepover.
That sounds fun.
I know.
We can plan like instead of a negative, oh, we're going to take over the world, we can take over the world in a good way. All right, for $1 billion. So thank you both so much, and I although I was nervous, it's so good to just be able to talk to you guys, and since I can't see like what's going on, then I'm not as concerned, I guess. And I can just be more authentic.
You were your authentic self, and thank you for
Thank
being
you.
you. And we love you.
We love you.
I
And
know.
Fido. You didn't get to meet Fido, but you will.
We will next.
We'll do Fido next time. Mwah.
Have
Bye,
such
guys.
a blessed day.
Thank
Love
you.
you, love you, love
Thank
you.
you. Love